Hello, my name is Qualjo, and I will be introducing our Group 1 Business 550 Microeconomic and Macroeconomic Analysis of Tesla Incorporated. First, we will begin by diving into the microeconomic concept that we will be analyzing within this assessment. Microeconomics is or related to the branch of economics that analyzes the decisions individual consumers, firms, and industries make as they produce, buy, and sell a good or service. This is referencing our course in Business 550 as we understand the individual aspects of a consumer and a producer. As previously stated, the firm of focus that we'll be discussing today is Tesla Incorporated, and Tesla is a producer of electric motor vehicles within the United States and across the globe. Upon being introduced into the market, as of 2012, this product was considered a differentiated product. As we'll reference later in our analysis, we will see other competitive firms and producers introducing a similar value proposition into the market. But at the time, this is what differentiated their product among others. This relationship between the consumers purchasing the producer's product within the United States and globally historically presented a lower cost and an efficient vehicle with access to remote charging. And when competing against the bigger three or the big three, as referenced to our course, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, this was considered a substitute into the market. The market power that we see within this analysis is an oligopoly. The competition among a smaller group of firms, additional barriers of entry, an undifferentiated and differentiated product, having some information available, but the product is protected by patents, copyrights, and trade secrets. Companies have some control over the price, but are limited and influenced by the behavior of their competition. This is important when we analyze the microeconomic analysis of an automotive company, due to the fact that many automotive companies do have to deal with competition in their sector, and understanding that Tesla's value proposition was considered a substitute in the market allowed them to soon thereafter to be successful. As we step away from microeconomics, we begin to analyze macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is or related to the branch of economics that focuses on the overall level of economic activity, changes in price level, employment, and total impact to or on a respected economy. Within this, we want to get a better idea of the macroeconomic landscape. The macroeconomic implications within the United States are the manufacturing sites that we see in California, Nevada, New York, and Texas, the battery or the engine of the vehicle manufacturing both in California and Fremont and Lathrop, and the manufacturing sites that we see globally in China and Germany. As of today, Tesla has established manufacturing within the United States, China, and Germany. Macroeconomically, the implications of these areas can be felt within the gross domestic product. As for these markets, the measurement is made through the production of final goods and services within a specific country during a given time, i.e., the vehicle market assessment within the economy. This is key when we're analyzing a company such as Tesla due to the impact that it could potentially have on the consumer, the producer itself, and the greater economy. As a generator of revenue of their own value proposition, they are able to produce in the market and ensure employment and have impact on the respective economy as well. Over the prior 10 years, since the first release of the Model S series, Tesla has increased year-over-year growth while generating revenue annually, actively producing towards the economic GDP and the employment rate as a whole. Revenue as reflected after the first release of the Model S was initially recorded at $2 billion, followed by a 10-year assessment of that case of December 31st, 2023, more recent analysis at $96.7 billion. This is a great jump in revenue, and this has a great impact on our total GDP and the employment of a potential company such as Tesla. This allows them to pursue new candidates, pursue other ventures, create other value propositions, and ensure that their company market share continues to grow. This increase in revenue can highlight the value proposition among electric vehicles across the United States and globally, geographically benefiting areas such as the West and South with warmer climates, presenting an opportunity for this producer to offer a substitute within the market, an oligopoly, historically presenting a lower cost, efficient vehicle and access to remote charging. In turn, allowing for an introduction of newer models in a larger offering as we see today within their Cybertruck division. In the following year of December 31st, 2014, the revenue was analyzed at $3.199 billion, roughly $3.2 billion. In comparison to 2014, the next 10 years reflected a $97.69 billion outlook. This goes to show how a company such as Tesla Incorporated, producing a substitute in the market, can and will generate revenue and be successful.
Hey everyone, my name is Parker Hahn, and I'll be covering the macroeconomic and microeconomic scenarios for the next 5 years for Tesla. And so, I'll be looking at 2025 through 2030 and the factors that'll affect them. So for macroeconomic factors, there's a couple that stand out. According to World Bank, global GDP is expected to grow by about 2.8% per year over the next several years. And that might not sound like a lot, but that's actually a pretty steady rate that supports long-term demand. And so for higher value products like electric vehicles that Tesla's producing, this is actually a very good thing. So when the income's rising and the economies are growing, consumers are more likely to make those big purchases, which will benefit Tesla with their electric vehicles. The International Energy Agency also predicts that electric vehicles could make up to around 60% of new car sales by 2030. And that is a massive shift because that means the demand for the electric vehicles will continue to rise as more people are focusing on renewable energy and trying to save the environment, or also just are getting into the electric vehicles that Tesla has. One challenge they have though is dealing with interest rates and inflation. Over the last few years, inflation's been out of control. So as a result, the interest rates have increased because central banks are trying to control that inflation. So when the interest rates are high, car loans become more expensive, and that might reduce the demand for electric vehicles. And so the textbook talks about how this is part of the business cycle, which explains that when credit tightens, then consumers will hold off on big spending like what buying a car would be. But the good news is that the rates are expected to eventually come down again, and so that'll boost the demand. But just right now, they're higher because of the inflation. And then for looking at a government policy, the Inflation Reduction Act offers major tax credits to manufacturers and consumers that are buying and producing electric vehicles. And then also Europe has carbon reduction targets that are favoring electric transportation. And so these things both help Tesla as well because it's shifting people's focus towards electric vehicles and saving costs for the producers. Now, for the microeconomic factors, Tesla operates in an oligopolistic market, meaning it competes with a few major people like Ford, GM, BYD, Rivian. In this type of market, the companies are interdependent. So each firm has to think about what the other people are doing when they're making decisions for pricing or innovation, but they also have to do their own thing, right? So the textbook talks about how managers in these type of scenarios and the oligopolies use strategies like differentiation and cost leadership to stay competitive. And so what this might look like for Tesla is that, they're in the electric vehicle game, which is offering something different than a lot of these people. So they just have to focus on advancing technology, their vehicle range, and just continuing to separate themselves from the rest of them in any way they can. So another factor is production and economies of scale. So Tesla's new gigafactories in Texas and Berlin have been very big for their efficiency. As these factories continue to grow, then Tesla can spread out the fixed costs that they have over a larger number of vehicles. And so that actually will lower the average cost per car, which is huge for them to be able to keep their prices competitive and still being profitable, because it'll lower how much of those fixed costs actually apply to each car. The next factor would be with consumer preferences and price elasticity of demand. So over the next 5 years, more consumers will want to have lower prices for the electric vehicles they're buying, especially as other people that are making electric vehicles are entering the market. And so the textbook talks about how managers need to understand how responsive demand is to changes in price. If Tesla's prices are too high, customers could easily switch to other electric vehicles. And so that's why the company needs to offer smaller, more affordable models, also while keeping that premium look and performance that Tesla's known for. So they have to maintain their brand, but potentially offer cheaper models for people. So when looking at their expected outcomes over the next few years, Tesla's revenue was $97 billion in 2024, and it's expected to grow 8 to 10% through 2030. Tesla's revenue could rise from about $112 billion in 2025 to nearly $300 billion by 2030. So I got those statistics from Macro Trends and 24/7 Wall Street. And so those are some good numbers showing consistent revenue growth that's expected for them. And then also with more electric vehicle competition coming in, Tesla's expected to hold a global market share between 15 and 20%. And that's pretty impressive considering how quickly the electric vehicle market is expanding. Tesla's still expected to be a big player. And then, profit margins should remain stable because they are focusing on other areas too, like battery technology, solar energy, storage solutions. And so these other areas of focus will help Tesla continue to make money even while other people are entering in that electric vehicle market. So obviously there's always going to be risks like policy changes and high interest rates or global supply issues and all that. But if Tesla can continue to look at macroeconomic factors, microeconomic factors, and help take those things to make management decisions, they'll survive, stay profitable, and continue to grow.
As we take a look at the challenges that Tesla faces, the first one that sticks out is their self-drive feature. Their self-drive feature can cause accidents, and in fact, there was an accident on October 9th a few days ago. As of right now, there have been over 2.8 million Tesla car accidents. Those reasons consist of driving on the wrong side of the road, driving off the road, or driving into other cars. This number is slighted a little bit just because if a Tesla car gets into an accident based on driver error, it's still included into this number, but that self-drive feature definitely has an impact on the number of times that Tesla cars get into accidents. A solution for this could be to encourage drivers to be alert and aware while using the self-drive feature. There's also another suggestion to market the tactic of their self-drive feature. That marketing tactic should probably change a little bit to encourage drivers to have more control or awareness while they use this self-drive feature. There are also economic challenges that Tesla faces. Globally, their sales are down right now 20% from the same time as last year. A solution for that is Tesla is a very popular car brand, and they are in a growth stage right now, where they are already well known and people don't buy cars yearly, so finding ways for them to stay relevant is important. As we take a look at connecting some of their economic issues to the book, we see that their economic profit, which as the book states, measures and includes both the explicit and implicit costs of production, are down right now. However, their accounting profit, which measures and focuses on the explicit costs exclusively, is up and has been up since 2023. The other kind of challenge that they have faced right now is that other companies are making electric vehicles, especially in China, where Tesla's manufacturing is, or their largest manufacturing is, and workers are going on strike over there for lower prices, which has had somewhat of an impact on Tesla. Tesla's response has been to create their own facility that focuses on manufacturing technology and knowledge and experiences in China for the Tesla company. Tesla has not responded to other companies' work, but can advertise their brand as a luxury and quality over their cheaper vehicles that other companies are making, and that they have better control over their facilities.
A deeper dive and analysis into Tesla. When we think of Tesla, we think of Elon Musk. However, Tesla was founded in 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who named the company after the inventor Nikola Tesla. Elon Musk joined as the company's chairman in 2004 and became CEO in 2008. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy by focusing exclusively on electric vehicles. Tesla vehicles do not need fuel tanks, spark plugs, or exhaust systems as they are powered solely by electricity. The Roadster, which was Tesla's first electric car, was manufactured and delivered in 2008, with regular production beginning soon after in March of 2008. Today, Tesla is a leader in electric vehicle manufacturing with nearly 50% of the United States market share. Established vehicle manufacturers such as General Motors, Ford, and Hyundai are increasingly competitive in the electric vehicle market. Tesla's financial performance. Tesla's fiscal year follows a calendar year. Therefore, we are entering quarter 4 of fiscal year 25. The last fully reportable fiscal year is fiscal year 24. While in quarter 4 of fiscal year 24, Tesla delivered 495,570 electric vehicles, this was not enough to make up for the slower sales experienced earlier in fiscal year 2024. The result was fiscal year 24 sales decreased by 1.1% from the sales in fiscal year 23. The decrease in sales furthers the risk to Tesla's financial health as sales account for 90% of the revenue and 94% of Tesla's gross margin. While revenue growth declines and is trending for concern in financial performance, Tesla's free cash flow growth remains robust and indicates a strong cash generation. The market headlines read that Tesla is experiencing a mixture of optimism and caution. Caution and concern are amid the ongoing scrutiny of the full self-driving or FSD application available in certain Tesla models. The United States National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened an investigation into 2.88 million Tesla vehicles equipped with the FSD feature. There are more than 50 reported traffic safety violations and a series of crashes attributed to the FSD feature. This investigation will focus on whether certain driving inputs within the control authority of the FSD feature forestall the driver's supervision when they are unexpectedly performed. While Tesla states the FSD feature requires drivers to drive attentively and intervene when necessary, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it has received reports that technology has induced vehicle behavior that violated traffic safety laws. Tesla is considering a strategic refocus into AI and robotics. AI and robotics also brings forward concerns for risk. There is risk of inconsistency, accidents caused by malfunction, and cybersecurity concerns with the robotics and AI features. With a societal and economic lens, there is an increased risk for job displacement, with robots replacing human labor across many industries. A SWOT analysis will nicely lay out the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for Tesla. The next 2 slides will show this analysis. Strengths for Tesla would be the high electric vehicle or EV market share in the United States at about 50%. The increased capacity for production. In 2023, Tesla announced the continued investment in growing a gigafactory in Nevada, adding 3,000 new team members and 2 new factories. And then the available cash for future growth, as stated earlier with the free cash flow growth being robust. Weaknesses for Tesla would be the decreased growth in sales in 2024, and then the United States governmental policies on renewable energy and electric vehicles. While the United States government policies are promoting renewable energy and electric vehicles through initiatives and the Inflation Reduction Act, which this provides a tax break for purchasing an electric vehicle, there is concern with new administration there will be less focus on these efforts and a change in policy. Opportunities for Tesla would be the increasing affordability. On the next slide, there will be a comparison of Tesla models and the competition base prices. AI, or artificial intelligence, the full self-driving application, and robotics are three more opportunities that Tesla can investigate. And then threats: global trading tariffs, the increased competition, safety concerns surrounding the FSD application, and then again, U.S. governmental policies on renewable energy and electric vehicles. Because one of our threats identified is the safety concerns with the full self-driving application, and this is also an opportunity for Tesla, we will focus our resolution on this application.
Good morning to the Tesla board. My name is Annika Jacobs, and I was brought in as an independent consultant to discuss one of the primary challenges that Tesla is facing today. Now, I will start off by saying that unfortunately, a report came out last week all across the media about the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration opening up yet another probe into Tesla, and that is regarding the accident of a fully self-driving Tesla vehicle and all of the accidents and challenges that have taken place. Now, within that report, Tesla's shares fell almost 2% within a 24-hour time span. We may all be aware that this is a potential knee-jerk reaction, and the likelihood of that balancing out is likely. But as a consultant for your firm, I cannot speak lightly, and this is one major area that should be of extreme emphasis to you all on the board. Now, to bring everybody up to speed here, there has now been 58 reported accidents in Q3 alone of 2025, while our Tesla models are in full self-driving mode. Now, the importance currently is ensuring that we keep that warning label that drivers should be fully prepared to intervene at all times. That is currently what we state, in that although they are in self-driving mode, drivers should be able to keep their eyes on the road and be able to intervene at any time that should arise. If that were to ever be removed prior to being prepared to be in full self-driving mode without any supervision, unless Tesla is completely prepared for that, there will be many legal and liability issues that could arise. Now, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration probe will be extensive. It's going to be looking at driver versus technology error, who is at fault of the accident, and even runs the potential of vehicle recalls based on their findings. And while Elon Musk and the entire Tesla company has continuously propelled the electronic vehicle industry forward with steadfast vision, I do urge all of you on the board to ensure that rushing and lack of preparation with product development, software development, will only reduce your bottom lines long term. For longevity and success of the company, it's really important that they have a comprehensive checklist to implement prior to rolling out any new technology, especially with the associated challenges that Tesla is already facing. Now, as Tesla continues to move forward towards that full self-driving mode, these are my following recommendations as a third-party consultant to include during this potential rollout period that Elon is highlighting may happen in 2026. First and foremost, actual, tangible, objective data must be gathered with an initial pilot program. That initial pilot program obviously is going to be due to state, national laws. The easiest rollout areas is either going to be in Texas or Nevada. Now, I would advise to create an 8 to 10 person pilot program team who is on site in that location and consists of a minimum of 90 days pilot program that includes a team lead, director of operations, at least 3 to 4 individuals that are most current on all regulatory, software, radar, and technologies, and implement that in order to gather data. Now, that data should not just be gathered in highway miles, but in cities with congestion, pedestrians, unexpected objects, and quick decision-making in terms of being in full self-driving mode and how Tesla's products are able to respond to that. That gathering that data is paramount to complete in the cities, as it is noted in a lot of safety research that Tesla has completed a lot of safety testing in highway miles where the reaction and unexpected occurrences is lower. Now, Tesla has long self-reported quarterly safety reports as well. And this reporting data is based on metrics. A lot of those metrics in my research are produced as being safe, but the raw data or the methodology that was utilized to gather this data is lacking. Now, the trust of consumers, insurance companies, governmental agencies has therefore decreased due to limited objective data that is proven through independent agencies. So my other recommendation would be the implementation of independent agency safety testing, and while developing the pilot program to assess the induction of those new FSD hardware, implementing that independent agency will further increase reliability, transparency of the company, and it is paramount to consumer and government buy-in. Tesla needs to continue to trademark that safety, even second to innovation, through raw, objective, and proven data, not only on their own safety metrics, but in data that is third-party or independent agency proven. That can no longer be optional in the world we live in today. This includes proven disengagement rates, crash and safety events rates, and that those are at least equal with human driver rates, as well as objective measurements that supervised or unsupervised full safety or full self-driving is as safe as the human driver. In conclusion, in summary, as a firm as big and successful as Tesla, there are obvious, numerous micro and macro level challenges, as well as opportunities, as we discussed today. The business decisions to be made are complex, they're unique, and they require complete understanding of how those micro and macro levels, such as consumer preferences, federal and international policies, market trends, supplies, technology, labor force, how all of those come into play for business decisions. Economic challenges continue to be a strong focus, as well as that technological advances, and safety, as highlighted today with the consultation of an independent consultant. Implementing strategies laid out today can continue to ensure that the quality of Tesla products is never compromised, therefore creating success overall for the company. Thank you.